I have some more poems by Shel Silverstein from the book Where the Sidewalk Ends. Remember, these are funny make-believe poems, so they are pretty silly. Some of them have pictures, and I'll show you if they have pictures. This one does not. The name of the poem is Traffic Light. The traffic light simply would not turn green, so the people stopped to wait. As the traffic rolled, and the wind grew cold, and the hour grew dark and late. Zoom, vroom, trucks and trailers, bikes and limousines, clattering by. Me, oh my, won't that light turn green? But the days turned weeks, and the weeks turned months, and there on the corner they stood, twiddling their thumbs till the changing comes, the way good people should. If you walk by that corner now, you may think it's rather strange to see them there as they hopefully gaze, with the very same smile on their very same face, as they patiently stand in the very same place and wait for the light to change. Our next poem is called, it's called Me Stew. And this has a funny picture. I'll show you. Me stew. I have nothing to put in my stew, you see, not a bone or a bean or a black-eyed pea, so I'll just climb in the pot to see if I can make a stew out of me. I'll put in some pepper and salt, and I'll sit in the bubbling water. I won't scream a bit. I'll sing while I simmer. I'll smile while I'm stewing. I'll taste myself often to see how I'm doing. I'll stir me around with a big wooden spoon and serve myself up at 1:15 noon. So bring out your stew bowls, your gobblers and snackers. Farewell, I hope you enjoy me with crackers. That's funny. And this one is funny too. Double-tailed dog. Would you like to buy a dog with a tail at either end? He is quite the strangest dog there is in town, though he's not too good at knowing just exactly where he's going. He is very, very good at sitting down. He doesn't have a place to put a collar, and I'll admit it's rather hard to lead him. And he cannot hear you call, for he has no ears at all, but it doesn't cost a single cent to feed him. He cannot bite. He'll never bark or growl. Just scratch him on his tails. He'll find it pleasing. But you'll have to take him out for twice as many walks, and I'll bet that you can quickly guess the reason. Funny. That's funny. Okay. I'm not reading all of them out of this book. I'm just choosing some funny ones that I thought you would enjoy. This one's a funny one. Dancing Pants. And now for the dancing pants, doing their fabulous dance. From the seat to the pleat, they will bounce to the beat, with no legs inside them and no feet beneath. They'll whirl and they'll twirl and jiggle and prance, so just start the music and give them a chance. Let's have a big hand for the wonderful, marvelous, super sensational, utterly fabulous, talented dancing pants. That's funny. Okay, our next one is called, let me find it here, the page. It's called Band-Aids. This is funny. I have a Band-Aid on my finger, and one on my knee, and one on my nose, and one on my heel, and 2 on my shoulder, 3 on my elbow, and 9 on my toes, 2 on my wrist, and 1 on my ankle, 1 on my chin, and 1 on my thigh, 4 on my belly, and 5 on my bottom, 1 on my forehead, and 1 on my eye, 1 on my neck, and in case I might need 'em, I have a box full of 35 more. But oh, I do think it's sort of a pity I don't have a cut or a sore. Oh my goodness. All those Band-Aids and nothing's even wrong with him. Funny. Funny, funny, funny. Next poem is called Pirate Captain Jim. Walk the plank, says Pirate Jim, but Captain Jim, I cannot swim. Then you must steer us through the gale, but Captain Jim, I cannot sail. Then down with the galley slaves you go, but Captain Jim, I cannot row. Then you must be a pirate's clerk, but Captain Jim, I cannot work. Then a pirate captain you must be. Thank you, Jim, says Captain Me. He made him captain. That's funny. Isn't that funny? Let's see, our next one I've chosen is called, let's see, If the World Was Crazy. If the world was crazy, there's not a picture here, but it's funny. If the world was crazy, you know what I'd eat? A big slice of soup and a whole quart of meat, a lemonade sandwich, and then I might try some roasted ice cream or a bicycle pie, a nice notebook salad, an underwear roast, an omelet of hats, and some crisp cardboard toast, a thick malted milk made from pencils and daisies, and that's what I'd eat if the world was crazy. If the world was crazy, you know what I'd wear? A chocolate suit and a tie of eclair, some marshmallow earmuffs, some licorice shoes, and I'll read a paper of peppermint news. I'd call the boys Susie, and I'd call the girls Harry. I'd talk through my ears, and I always would carry a paper umbrella for when it grew hazy to keep in the rain if the world was crazy. If the world was crazy, you know what I'd do? I'd walk on the ocean and swim in my shoe. I'd fly through the ground and I'd skip through the air. I'd run down the bathtub and bathe on the stairs. When I met somebody, I'd say, "Goodbye, Joe." And when I was leaving, then I'd say, "Hello." And the greatest of men would be silly and lazy, so I would be king if the world was crazy. That's pretty silly. Pretty silly. Our next poem is called Melinda May. I want you to see this picture. It's funny. Melinda May. Have you heard of tiny Melinda May who ate a monstrous whale? She thought she could. She said she would, so she started in right at the tail. Can you see what she's eating? And everyone said, "You're much too small," but that didn't bother Melinda at all. She took little bites and she chewed very slow, just like a good girl should. Okay, let's continue on the next page. And in 89 years, she ate that whale because she said she would. Oh my goodness. Ate the whole thing in 89 years? Wow. This one is called Afraid of the Dark. I'm Reginald Clark. I'm afraid of the dark, so I always insist the light on, and my teddy to hug, and my blanket to rub, and my thummy to suck or to bite on, and 3 bedtime stories, 2 trips to the toilet, 2 prayers, and 5 hugs from my mommy. I'm Reginald Clark. I'm afraid of the dark, so please do not close this book on me. Funny. If I close the book, he'll be in the dark. And I guess he's afraid of that. The next poem is called Mary. Now look at the picture. It's called Mary. No one's hanging stockings up. No one's baking pie. No one's looking up to see a new star in the sky. No one's talking brotherhood. No one's giving gifts. And no one loves a Christmas tree on March the 25th. Well, of course not. It's not Christmas time. Silly poems. This is the last poem we're going to read today. See that picture? Can you see her on top? It's called The Gorilla. Since I brought my gorilla to school, everyone's nicer to me. The teacher's more pleasant. The kids bring me presents. The principal serves me bran muffins and tea. If I'm tardy, they say, "Oh, don't worry." If I'm absent, they don't give a hoot. If my desk is a mess, or I'm sloppily dressed, or I snooze on my desk, or I cheat on a test, they say, "Isn't that cute?" If I don't know my lessons, I just take a guess, and whatever I guess, teacher screams out, "That's right." A big bully Slick has been staying home sick, afraid that I'll trick him right into a fight. I'm welcome to munch upon anyone's lunch, and I was just voted most clever and cool. Though I chew gum and play, my report cards are all A's since the day I first brought my gorilla to school. That's pretty funny. That is all the poems I'm going to read from Where the Sidewalk Ends. Next time, tune in. We're going to read another book by Shel Silverstein.